Welcome everyone to the Satsang. Radha Swami. We just heard a beautiful song and beautiful words. Thanks to our friend Gunjan. You are a very special soul. And I want to thank you for what you did. When you decide to see me, I will see you in this house. And we can talk what's next. There's a question, Rana, you have. What is the question?
The question goes, we learn about this path, we come to this path, we live our life a certain way, we come across other people who do not follow this path. How much of this path can be spoken with them? Do we advertise this path or speak about this path with them? That's a question.
There's so much to this question. There's like a 3 hours answer. Let me try to compact this. Sant Mat is a very specific path, and it is individual path. When we meditate, when we go within, this is individual process. When I meditate, this is the process I'm going through. And you are not at that time. When you meditate, this is process you're going through, you go within. And your friends do not, satsangis. So this is a very individual process. Now there's another stage my seva requires, but that is a little bit different. Can we share this path? I don't see the problem in sharing this path with the others. Now, I personally am forbidden to seek people, disciples, convince people to what I say or not. I'm forbidden. I cannot do this. So whoever joined the satsang, it is the specific choice or the specific reason. Now, this life you have, this life I have is predestined. You can look this as totally predestined life, including this path. You joining this path is predestined. For you, for me, initiation on this path, or initiation by the perfectly with master is also predestined. This is your present destiny. And that present destiny we call pralabdha, karma. And all that is predestined. When before the little baby is born, before a baby comes out of the womb of the mother, the imprint is placed on the forehead, hands, and feet. This imprint is your karma for this life. And this is a process which happens to each of us when we are born. Now, when you are on this path, or if you are initiated, there's no issue of sharing some experiences you have, or you met the master. We speak about that. Now, when you practice meditation and you go within and you have these inner experiences, which are your specific experiences between you and the master, this should be kept private. So these inner experiences of light and sound and all these different whatever experiences you have, they should be kept private. But something like you want to share the story that you are on this path, or you practice Uccha Yoga, I don't see the problem sharing that. Now, we are not here to convince everybody else, follow this path or follow that path. Most of us are born in some kind of religion. Could be Hindu religion. I was born in Christian religion. And that religion has its own beliefs. Hinduism has its own beliefs, and Buddhism and so forth. So usually we are born in the background of some kind of faith. And Sant Mat does not require us to quit that. I mean, you can be Christian, you can be Hindu, you can be a Muslim, or you can practice Buddhism and still be in Sant Mat. The most important part is the initiation. Excuse me. And this initiation I speak about, I'm talking about initiation by the perfect living master. So this is most important part. So we can share many things of this path. There's many kinds of seva we can do. But your true inexperiences, I will recommend to guard that and keep it for yourself. Unless your experiences are so overwhelming, then you can share some of that. But please understand that by sharing some of that, the low vibration in that experience, you may be diluting that. Now, if you're a master and you connected to the consciousness of Sachkhand, that's a different story. But if you are not the master, for example, now I don't make any claims, okay, I'm just giving an example. If you're not the master, then if you have experiences in the inner worlds, just if you do have them, be grateful, and you are very lucky. And these experiences could be experiences of light or of different sounds, and they can be reflected in different inner bodies we have. When we have a physical form, you have a physical body or pinda, and then the next form will be asal region, and that will be anda. And then you have a causal body. So this is very interesting in the mechanism, how we are composed of. Please understand that beyond that, your body is a Shabbat, sound current. So generally, we try to explain this, there's 5 different regions and this basic bodies, and there's another one. How should I explain this? Occupying, Okay, so you have a pinda, anda, Brahmanda, and then Parbrahmanda and Satsang, which is located here as represented in a human form. When the baby is born, by the way, this is the soft spot. So that's where the Satlok is reflected in a human form, human body. So when you have spiritual experiences, let's say when you meditate, not necessarily Sucha Yoga meditation, but there are other forms of meditation people practice, and they may have astral experiences. You lose awareness of the physical form, and then you switch to the astral form. And your physical form, gets numb and all that. As you know, if you practice meditation and you awaken in astral form through the tendo, what we call. And beyond that tendo, that is in Sucha Yoga, when we meet the radiant form of the master. The radiant form of the master is the astral form. This is the astral form of the master, and you also have astral form at that region within the consciousness. And then beyond that, you have a causal form of the master, and your causal form. So when you have these experiences going within, you may or may not want to share them with anyone, not even your close friends. This is a decision you have to make. My master, Mr. Puri, explained this, that if your cup is overflowing, you have a cup, right? And all these experiences are within that cup. If it's overflowing, you can share some of this. It served the purpose. I share a lot of different experiences myself. I try not to go to very deeply into experiences, because these are for me. When I was with the master, but I share some stories when I was with the master in physical form. And so sometimes it's better to keep it to yourself. Now, Mr. Puri was asked once, that's on the record, that have you been to Satsang? Have you seen Radha Swami? This question was posted to him. He declined that. He said, I don't have a permission to answer this question. Now, please understand that these regions, inner regions, the higher you go within those regions, the more powerful the experience is. And actually, the more power you have yourself in that sense. So someone operating from a very high region, his responsibility, consciously operating from the higher region, his responsibility will be different than someone who is not, who is just aware of the physical form, physical body, and experience everything through the five senses. These astral senses, actually what you experience here, the astral senses. And also, when you go to the astral, this magnifies itself, but these are still astral senses. Now, when you leave astral form, astral body behind, when you leave Shahasdan Kanval and you cross to Trikuti, now the senses, you live in them too. There's the awareness is all the senses are like, how do I explain, combined in one. So you have a more direct perception. And going to Daswandvar and all these regions, Parbrahmanda and all this, you deal with the sun current really. And the sun current flowing from the top all the way down to the pin, it's what's generating all that. All your experiences. But the way it is revealed in the They call this like of Brahma, these three words: physical, astral, and causal. This is this is the mind, and each of these bodies inside has its own mind. Most people operate from the physical form. In other words, like now I'm expressing, I'm using words, speaking right now. I'm using words. So this physical mind is operating, but so are the other versions of this inner bodies. And many people will try to impress with others. Oh, I had this experience, I had that experience. Oh, okay, good, but please understand that the expression in words ends at the center, and at the 10th gate and so. So when you cross the 10th gate, as we call, and the 11th gate, which is between the Brahman and Par-Brahman, or Brahmanda and Par-Brahmanda, this lot of everything changes kind of. So the 12th gate between the Vanvargufa and Satlok, that's another story. And people will make any claims, oh, I had these experiences, or I was with the master, or flying, or this or that. Okay, these are astral experiences. In the sense, because when you're on the path of search of yoga, you have a duty. Let's say you have a duty to do meditation and establish the radiant form of the master. And that radiant form of the master is the astral form of your master. So if you're initiated by the master, who happen to be perfectly with master, which is the one operating from the Sachkhand or beyond, perfectly with master, his radiant form on the astral, this is what you're connecting to. So this is this whole process of meditation. And once you meet the master in that radiant form, this connection is, you initiated, this connection is there, but some people do not awaken this. They may not go with the meditation practice. So there's a purpose of meditation, and the purpose is to establish that radiant form of the master. Now, when you deal with the perfectly with master, that connection is different. That connection is different because perfectly with the master operates from the source, from that consciousness. Not necessarily this is some kind of being operating from the astral, giving you some instructions, okay, or like a channeling somebody or becoming a conduit for astral entity or anything like that. Many people will claim, "Oh, master speaks to me in my head," right? Or they will say, "Well, Jesus speaks to me," or "God speaks to me." But also in Search of Yoga, they will say, "Oh, master is speaking to me, and I am a conduit for the master, and so I will give you instruction. I will do this, or I will do that, or I will initiate you. Let me go inside and see what my master says. So the real process is different. So you also have to be cautioned who you listen to, what kind of story they have to tell you or to sell you. And I always caution for the last 2 years, be very careful who you follow too, because there's many people will claim many different things, but it could be just a case of the mind speaking to itself. In other words, they're connecting with their own mind. And all the information they're getting is from that astral mind, let's say it, or causal mind, and they're transferring that to you. But this is not the nam of the perfect living master. Perfect living master operates from beyond the mind. And beyond the mind, I mean, I actually mean beyond Van Vargufa. And so you need to be in presence of someone who can do that. Someone can have a beautiful words and promise you, okay, this and that, any kind of promises to make you feel good and this and that. Or heal you, or help you with this and or that, or make the healing on you, or make your life better. So you have to be cautious. So let's say someone can say, "Oh, I'll give you the inexperiences. Come with me, I show you the light." The process is the same. Everybody who is going to die going to see the light. Each of us sitting here, we all going to die eventually, and that process is the same for each of you, including me. So on Sochab Yoga, what we're trying to do is have these inner experiences, dying while living. I mean, we withdraw the attention. And I can be talking about for another hours, on this subject. So the inner experiences, unless your cup is overflowing, unless you have so much of inner experiences, I will keep it to yourself. You can share some of it, if you feel like. But there's always a risk of losing that benefit of for you. Now, when you're dealing with the perfect living master, that's a different story. But when you're dealing with your neighbor or your brother Satsangi, even that is a different story. So, going back to initiation, I spoke at last satsang about initiation. That is the most important part. Somebody can know different languages. I only know like 2 or 3 maybe, but they can speak in tongues, right? Like they say, have a very nice vocabulary, and you get attached to that. But that doesn't mean that is going to help you with anything, really. To have the benefit of real satsang, you have to be in the company of the master. I mean, real master, as far as the Santman. And let me tell you the little secret, don't repeat that, there could be only one. I mean, if you have one perfect little master, there could be one successor only. So don't repeat that to anybody. I'll tell them not to repeat if you tell them. But this goes back to Swami Jivavagra and these explanations and everything else. Now, we say generally there are masters here and there are no more than 8 or no more than 10 and so, but the real secret is if you have a perfect living master, who you consider perfect living master, and he passes away, there's not like 10 or 20 successors, giving you initiation, running around. There may be 20 people giving satsangs, but the Namdan doesn't work like that. This is a totally different process. So this is very problematic even for the people who make these claims, because let's say perfectly master passes away, and there's someone who says, well, I'm not the master, but I will initiate you, or I'll be conduit for the master to initiate you. Or they are actually, let's take a case of Mr. Puri. He passes away, and actually people who are initiating his name. Well, that is the huge claim. That is the huge claim, not only for the person who does that, but for everybody around them. Now, if that person doesn't have a permission of Satpurush to do this, they taking on a part of the karma, all those who they're initiating. That's another secret, just don't repeat that. So if you go to someone who is initiating you, but he doesn't have a real power of number of initiation, not only they messing up their life, but so they're messing up in that sense, because now you have a karmic obligations. And I'll give you another example. Let's say you go to someone, a very spiritual person, and he will do mental healing on you. Okay, he will help you, and is there something wrong with it? I mean, someone is helping somebody. I mean, this you may say, well, this is all good and nice. I mean, helping somebody, but please understand that person helping you, creating good, let's say, karma. Now he has to come back, be reborn to have the benefits of that karma. So if you're in the business of helping somebody or healing or doing Reiki or anything like that, you have to be very careful what you're doing, because you may be helping someone, and by doing that, now you have to be reborn to reap the rewards of it. Okay, and I'm just giving these different examples. Is this a noble thing to help someone? Yes, it is a noble thing, but sometimes you have to be very careful. We're not here to really interfere in anyone's lives in that sense. So Ishvara Puri Sandmat is not designed to trying to convert people. We're not designed to look for the members or promise people this and that. If you join Ishvara Puri Sandmat, you know you're gonna be healed, or you're gonna get better job or anything like that. Ishvara Puri Sandmat has very specific mission, and this mission is a spiritual mission. We are not here to make your life better, and I am perfect example of it. You know, I'm a part of Ishvara Puri Sandmat, but I have to deal with my karma, and maybe some other karmas. So I just got caught here. I almost split my whole head, you know. So, but this comes with territory. So don't be delusional that there are consequences. This is not just a holiday, especially if you do a serious seva. This is not just you may say, I am on a vacation, but sometimes this vacation, it's serious business. So I don't know if I answered the question.
We have another question, Cezary Ji. Should I ask that?
Yes. I mean,
the
I
question
love
goes,
questions.
Can Hans' souls travel to the higher regions above Sachkhand? Can Hans' souls travel to the higher regions above Sachkhand?
What soul? Hans?
Hans and Buns.
Are you talking about Hans and Buns?
That's what the questioner
So
asked.
is this refer to Hans and Buns?
Yes, Cezary Ji, yeah.
Okay, well, this is the story for the spiritual children. So these stories are given by the masters to explain the principles. You know, Hans and Buns dancing up and down, and so some came down, and you know, some didn't. Please understand, these metaphors are used to explain something to you. The many stages within Santman. Also, there are many stages within Sucha Yoga. So masters are using this as a metaphor, trying to explain something to you. But this is to you at this specific stage, but that doesn't mean this is the ultimate truth. So if I tell you Hans and Buns are on these different islands, you know, dancing, and there are trees with the huge trees, 100 feet, 100 meter high, with diamonds and rubies growing on them. Okay, Please understand these are metaphors. Hans and Bans, just like the soul is imprisoned by the mind. That's not possible. The soul has no connection with the mind. Never had and never will. That's not possible. So these are all metaphors trying to explain some principles to you. Let's take, for example, karma. Karma is only in the mind. There's no concept of karma outside of the mind or beyond the mind. It doesn't exist. Neither does the reincarnation or transmigration. These are concepts within the mind. So okay, Master, so I'm going to raise your sentient karma. What is really happening? What do you think is really happening? Anyone can tell me what is really happening when you're initiated by the perfect living master, and according to some of these masters, including my master, your sentient karma is erased. Yeah, there's the initiation of Mr. Puri here. Can you tell me what is really happening? Anyone? I mean, there's no right or wrong. We're just speaking here about this. Is the mind destroy or disappear? Or this whole process, the whole perpetuum mobile mind machine disappear? What does that mean? Can anyone tell me? Okay. We just said that the karma is within the mind. And we described the three minds, how they call it. It's all one mind. Pinda, Anda, and Chukudi, and the causal region. The mind, or they call it ego of Brahma, or Brahma, all these three words in it. And who is the boss? The boss they call God, or call Niranjan. Okay, so all this is all this karmic, all this is within that. So when you initiate it in your physical form, what happens? By the perfect living master, and that is very rare. The many master who can give you initiation. The many masters, they may say and claim that you get the initiation, I'm done from such kind. But by the way, nothing can keep you here if you have zero attachments, or zero samskaras, or zero memory. Okay, I take, let's say you are the master and I am your disciple and you raise my karma. What does that mean? Okay, the karma you erase, the sin sheet, let's say you did that for me. Thank you very much. Is that karma still there? Can I remember it or not? Okay, if you can remember anything karma related to karma, is that still there? If you erase all your memory, is the karma still there? I mean, say it because I see some heads, going left and right and up and down. It's just a friendly conversation. What does that really mean? Anybody? I'm going to start calling names. Let's see. Who wants to take the first one? Nick. We initiated by the perfect living master. I'm trying to make this more interesting because I can be talking for 10 hours and so what? Who cares, right? But let's say we initiated by the perfect living master. We already established that the consciousness of the person who is giving you initiation has to be consciousness of the master. Even if this master claim or say, I'm initiating you in the name of my master. I'm just a conduit. To be just a conduit, it's not good enough. The consciousness of the person you receive initiation in the physical form has to be also consciousness of the previous master, let's put it that way. Same consciousness. So let's say great master consciousness, great master initiation, Mr. Puri, the same. And how I'm to speak about what that even is, I'm just trying to give you an example. Okay, so initiated by perfect living master. And he says, some of them, they will say, I cannot do anything about your karma. Gorin Sin, current master in the Abhyas, he says, no master can raise any karma. Is he lying? Is Gorin Sin lying or telling the truth? Mr. Puri says, your master, Nick, that when you initiated, the Sinchit karma is removed. Is Mr. Puri lying or is he telling the truth? Who is lying, who is not lying? Who is right? Is the Gurinder Sin right or is the Mr. Puri right? Because these are opposite statements, no matter how you look. And there are many of those. I can give you, but I don't want to confuse this. Let's just keep the subject. Nick, so what happened to your Sinchit karma?
I would
Nothing?
say I'd say both are true, because both statements are only dealing with the mind. When you meet a perfect living master and are initiated, your consciousness merges.
Okay, anyone else? It's a good track, though. I mean, thank you, Nick. At least we're on the right track.
Is it
Anyone else
possible
would like to?
is it possible that the karma is there, but we don't have the account is paid for? You know, the master takes on the karmic account, and the disciple doesn't have to be accountable for that karma anymore.
Interesting. We're getting, close. It's like this game. Cold, 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 warm, 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 hot, hot, right? Kids are looking for something. They hide from each other. Well, yeah. We established that the karma and all these concepts, including transmigration, is within the mind. And we established these masters that there are 3 types of karma: Sinchit, Pralap, and Kariman. And the biggest one is this reserve karma we call Sinchit. And that, according to one master, is erased when you're initiated by the perfect living master. And another perfect living master will say, no master, perfect, or PLM, or anybody can erase your karma. So I spoke to Pranay, I think a day or so ago. I said, he asked me about some very, very good questions, by the way. A question about the spiritual question. How does the master, the list of the master, maybe we should talk about that, because that is interesting. Okay, what about if a master takes you above the mind and the Sinchit karma is still there, but it has 0 effect on you at that point? Can that be a case? Anybody?
Sounds true.
Welcome to the Satsang, by the way.
Thank you for having me.
What happened? No, thank you. I mean, what happened?
What happened with what? With me?
Yes, what happened with you? Grace, by the way. Grace says hello.
Hello. Hi, Grace. I've been since Ji. Hi.
Recognize your voice. Beautiful.
It's good seeing you.
We have good to see you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Cezary is asking me what happened.
Yeah,
He
what
scared
happened?
me last time, so I ran away. No.
Well, we're very busy in our life, yeah. Yeah.
Master is taking care of everything, but like he said, we all have karmas to pay, right? The
Yeah,
good and the
right.
bad. So I've had my share of adventures.
Don't we all? We too.
Yeah, we do. I mean, this applies if you initiated or non-initiated.
Yeah.
Even if you initiated by the perfect living master, you still have to live your karma, current, present destiny, so to speak. Now, the case of readjusting that's a different satsang. But generally, we still have to fulfill karmic obligations, and these are the obligations from the past life, or maybe past lives, more than one, and so on. So yes, the life is ups and downs, as we all experience. Even for the masters, in that sense. So, what is the spirituality good about this? It's good that we, at least by the practice of this path, on this path, such as yoga, meditation, we can be detached from it and be kind of more observer and not affected as much. And not affected what's happening around us in the world too. Instead of concentrating on all these conflicts and lies and everything else, we have an option of going within and connect with the radiant form of the master. And that is actually our duty according to the great master. If you're on this path, especially if you initiate it, our duty is to establish that radiant form. So instead of sinking into the world around us and all the problems, you can go always within. By the way, as a side note, we are seekers of truth. Even on the Ishwarpuri Salman, we have that. What is the truth? We are seekers of the truth. You will never find the truth outside. I mean, except if you're dealing with the perfect living master, you may say. But other than that, if you want to really, because I get this question a lot from you guys too here, to really find the truth, you have to go within. To really find the truth, you have to go within. I was sitting eating, and I wrote some secrets here.
Cezary, can we answer that question about the two masters? Can we get the final word on that? The answer? We're talking about Gurinder Singh said that the singed karma is not erased, and Ishwarji said that the karma was erased. So what is the answer?
Gurinder Singh, he's you may say, worldwide leader in Sant Mat. He's the master of Bias. I don't know exactly how many followers there will be, 4.5 million, I mean, in millions. Who is the recognized as a present current master? The other one will be Rajendra Singh, based in India and here in Chicago area, which I spoke before I met. But the Gurinder Singh is, some years ago, he started switching from Sant Mat 101 to Sant Mat 102, okay, in that sense. So I agree with many things he says, actually, Gurinder Singh. And but some of the things he said are different than what some of these other masters said. So if you initiate it and you follow Bias, RSSB, and if Gurinder Singh is your master, that is something between you and Gurinder Singh. If you initiate it by Rajendra Singh, That is between you and Sandrajendra Sen. I met him, I spoke to him in person, but I never asked him for initiation. Neither did Grace at the time. And at the time, you could eat with him by the tables and, and talk to him. Today, it will be probably impossible. By the way, they have a huge, beautiful place in Lysel, Witton area. Mr. Puri went there and he really liked it. He really liked it, what they did. Because there was attending the initiations, they were going there, and that's something I want to really speak about. Don't have a permission really to review some of these things. But Mr. Puri was there, and he really liked this new place they did. So each master has his own moj, so to speak. And even if you go back to the great master, Hazur Baba Saban Sen, if you read some works and some letters or follow Fakir Chand, he met the great master, on many occasions, and the letters, some of those Hazur Baba Saban Sen will answer, some of those not. There was a question, do you dream, right? Given to Hazur Baba Saban Sen, for example. But according to Fakir Chand, someone said, the great master said, how can I tell them the truth? I cannot. Even to his own sons, God, he could not reveal the truth. And how can I tell them the truth? I cannot. If I tell them the truth, no one will come to see me. No one will come to see me. To the satsang. No one will come to the satsang to see me. So, but everybody is asking for the truth. Everybody is asking for the truth. And they just think that the truth is going to be revealed. It's just going to come over to some group and a group of satsangis, and they're going to tell you the truth. No, they won't. Satsangis themselves will lie to each other. That is why it is so important that to be truthful. Grace said to be truthful to your master. That is, this is not easy. To live truthful life today, it's not easy. If you have a small business like Grace and I do, everything is against you. People lying. If I went to India, I seen things what the Pranay is going through for his project. He can tell you. So it is very, very hard to be truthful and honest. Now, when you're initiated by the perfect living master, you have that help within. You're connected to that Shabbat. Okay? Sant current. So, or Shabd. So it is different because now you have a radiant form of the master. If he was perfect living master who initiated you, so now you can go within and talk to somebody who is not going to lie to you. But in outside world, my gosh, you haven't heard nothing yet. I can only, so for example, in the satsang, things I know, I can only say few. I'm not trying to be special or anything like that, but this, you be deceived left and right. So going back to the master in Vyasa, he's updating the Radhaswami faith. He's making his own. And there's a satsang I have. Somewhere it's recorded. It's on the Ishwar Puri Santmat YouTube channel. And I speak about that and I explain all of that. What Gurinder Singh says. So you can listen to that. I don't know if I answered your question, but
well,
it depends.
The question was what happened to the Sinchit karma, right? You asked us Do we know
Well,
what
I'll
happened
try.
to our Sinch the car?
I'm trying to
I
drag this out of you.
I honestly don't know what Ishwarji meant when he said the Sinch the karma was erased, you know. I just took his word for it. But
Yes.
words
So-
words are complicated, right?
Yeah, but Mr. Puri explained this in the Anatomy of Consciousness. And by the way, this book was dedicated, it is dedicated to his wife, Toshi. And Toshi is the actual, the one who put this together. You may know this or may not know. I never knew that. I'm just telling you that.
I started reading that book, but I never really read the whole book, to be honest with you.
Yeah. When I mean Toshi, I mean Master's wife.
Yeah.
So she is the one incredible spiritual person and the best friend of Grace's and mine. So when Toshi and Mr. Puri, when Toshi was alive and Mr. Puri was alive, they were our best friends. I mean, like really best friends.
Yeah, she
Only
she
for-
was an incredible human being. Yes. Beautiful human
So-
being.
Now we're still very fortunate because this whole continue. For us, there's no difference. We still have, we're still blessed. Mr. Puri made arrangements for that. And we also blessed to know many things which most people don't know. And sometimes I talk to Grace, you know, I mean, we are so fortunate to know this because there's so many things happening, even lately within last month or so. If I didn't know, how would you even know what is really going on? I mean, it's like mind-boggling. How would you know? You must arrange everything. Yeah, you won't. I'll be lost. I mean, not maybe lost, but I mean, a lot of questions I will have, but we don't. Why don't we have any questions? Because we were given all the answers. It's not like we're different than you or anyone sitting here, initiated or uninitiated, but this is a different world. You're either in it or you're not. And if you're not, I mean, you don't, would you know? I mean, it's like, let's take a break and continue this. Okay, Nick, can you stop recording?